Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 12. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star, which rose, and has come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route.
Well, I do want to again extend a warm welcome to you. It truly is an honor and a privilege to see you here this evening. I just want to say a few words as I welcome you, really. And before we have another carol, we sang, well, you may have noticed as the carols were sung, there's a pretty similar theme throughout all of the songs, and it's a theme of hope, really, and it's the theme of hope in a child. I mean, how often do we sing songs to a child, about a baby? It's a pretty strange thing to do, isn't it? But that's what carols are. They're essentially poems, songs about the precious child of the Lord Jesus. The Bible is full of these poems. I can read another one to you. This one would be from Isaiah chapter 9. He writes, "For to us a child, a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on, forever and ever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this." They are more words about a child in which people for hundreds of years have found great hope, peace, and tranquility in. It's a bit of a strange thing, and yet that's what we do every Christmas, and that's what the carols we have read, thought about this evening has displayed. I don't know if you come here this evening seeking hope, seeking a place of hope. You know, it was just a couple of months ago, our Prime Minister, he made the grand promise before the eyes of the nation that he would usher in a New Jerusalem. Do you remember that? Do you remember him making that promise? A new Jerusalem for the United Kingdom. A new Jerusalem. It's amazing the kind of drivel that come out of politicians' mouths sometimes and the kind of promises they make. I mean, far be it from me to criticize my and your Prime Minister, but isn't that a bit of an insane promise to make? Like, he can't even keep his allegiance to give us Christmas, let alone a new Jerusalem. How can he offer that? How can he offer that kind of optimism, that kind of hope? He can't make good on it. Why try? And yet, so he does anyway. We've had a difficult year, haven't we? I don't know if you come this evening looking for hope, looking for some kind of distraction from the frustration of this time. You think of what people have been through. Many have lost loved ones, haven't they? Tragically this year. Thousands have died. Hundreds more have got sick. Hundreds have lost their jobs. Businesses have not been able to survive. The economy is in all sorts of uncertainty. Plans have been dashed. Hopes have been dashed. Memories we hoped for 2020 have been lost. That has been the year, hasn't it, for many of us? Do some of us come here this evening looking for a bit of hope? Just maybe we do. And you think about that promise from Boris. The reason why he makes it because he knows that the human heart shares this impulse. He calls it the New Jerusalem, but he knows that we all ache for it. He knows we share that hope for happiness, that hope for peace, that hope for well-being, the hope where families aren't separated, and where our hopes are that Christmas isn't jolly well cancelled, where there is no darkness and frustration, where there is no suffering and pandemics. He knows we all want that, and so he promises to give you it, or else why would he say it? Now, that is the situation we find ourselves in. That is the situation you contemplate the Christ child this evening. Now, what do we make of him? It's a bit weird to sing songs to a child, a babe, a son that is given to us. What do we think of this Christ child? Is he worth being contemplated? Is he to be written off? Is he special? Is he irrelevant? Is he a made-up story? Is he a nice tradition, but nothing more? I mean, what is he? The Jerusalem of his own day. They didn't exactly rejoice at his coming. They were disturbed, and actually that was in James's reading for us. They heard the news of this Christ child born in this place called Bethlehem. They weren't happy about it. They were raging. They were disturbed. You had a king who was so angry at the prospect of a ruler born to this world, he tries to have him killed. King Herod was a real man. He killed his actual children. It's historical. He tried to have this baby born in Bethlehem killed. That was the Jerusalem of Jesus' day. We haven't heard it read this evening. There's another verse in the Bible, in the New Testament. It describes this Christ child, the light that comes into the world, the light into the world of darkness. We might think that is good news, light coming into a place of darkness. But the writer in this case goes on to say, Jesus was in the world. Sure, the world was created through him, yet the world did not recognize him. It had no concern about this light. It did not understand him. The world rejected him. The world went on to crucify him. Because that is how, my friends, this world treats this Christ child. Jesus is relevant. Jesus isn't taken seriously. Jesus is not to be trusted in. That's how the world contemplates him. The world kills him. The world is in darkness. The world is in sin. Humanity is lost in its darkness. It is without hope. It needs a ruler to rescue it. That is the world that Jesus comes into, but it is a world that does not recognize him. Here is a crucial question any human being must ask themselves. How do we contemplate the Christ child? Question, have we recognized him? Have we understood him? Do we regard him as a saviour? Do we regard him as one that is able to forgive sin, wrongdoing? Do we regard him as a light that shines in a darkness, in a hopeless world? That's what he promises he is. That's what's already been read in some of our readings this evening. That's what's written in the carols that are on your carol sheets. After all, what is the reward for the one who makes this Christ child the saviour of their hearts? What is the reward for taking him as he asks to be taken? You may not have read the New Testament before. You may not have read the Bible. But you know how the Bible ends? It ends with a picture of this Christ child. He's ushering in a new Jerusalem. A place that is described where there is no sickness, where there is no tears, where there is no death, where there is no mourning, where there is no sorrow, where there are no pandemics, where Christmas is not cancelled. In other words, he ushers in a world with no sin, with no imperfection. That is the world, that is the new Jerusalem that this Christ child ushers in. Now maybe this Christ child is deluded. Maybe he's as deluded as Boris. But then again, maybe he's not. I lost a precious friend this week. She died in a car crash, New Zealand. She was 28. Life taken on the weekend of her birthday. Everything in my heart responds in such a way in which I think surely her life had meaning. Surely she had a purpose in this world. Of course, we would all think that in light of tragedy. We're meant to think that. Her life had meaning. Her life had purpose. She trusted in this Christ child. It gave her heart hope. It gives me hope to see her again in the new Jerusalem this Christ child ushers in for you. How many people in our culture have suffered this year? Maybe you have. How many in our nation have no hope? Maybe you don't have hope this evening. Maybe your neighbours don't. Maybe they're suffering with questions they have no answers to. And yet we have all of these carols, we have these poems, we have these words about the worthiness of a Christ child that says, contemplate me, take me seriously. You will stand and shepherd his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they will live securely, for then his greatness will reach to the ends of the earth. That's already been read this evening. It's a precious promise. I believe it is true.
Sing Amen.